Hello and welcome to the promotional video of my thesis, Weaponized Social Media, How the Online Far Right Reaches the Youth. My name is Talia Fernandez and I'm a student at BXL Education, enrolled in a degree for secondary school teacher English and History. In this video, I will be introducing my thesis and related product. There has been countless research on why well-integrated European youth become interested in radical Islam. Within PXL's own secondary education degree, this topic was often highlighted and dissected in class. And for good reason, as the further normalization of 24/7 internet usage will make it all the easier for extremist groups to radicalize pupils further. But religious radicalism or extremism isn't the only movement able to gain momentum on social media. Political ideology can grab this opportunity all the same. This is where the title of this work comes in. Weaponized Social Media, How the Online Far Right Reaches the Youth. In this promotional video, I will give further context to the research problem and the general buildup of the work. It is undeniable that we consume content daily, whether it's reading the news, watching YouTube videos, browsing online shops, or finding out your friend adopted a new dog. A life without the internet or even social media is hard to imagine. It has fully integrated into our daily lives. The internet and widespread social media use has eliminated our communicative barriers. We can reach anyone at any time, and as a result, are constantly connected with each other. What is often left unaddressed is the type of content we, sometimes unconsciously, consume. Whether we realize it or not, a lot of what we read online has specific messages or undertones. Even some of the things we post ourselves can be interpreted as statements on specific topics. Just think about the endless discussions surrounding COVID-19 regulations. These discussions don't have to be political, but we subconsciously store people in certain camps based on the things they say. We all have a platform, and humans inherently love to share ideas. The elephant in the room is the influence this can have on a large scale. We are bombarded by information every day, and this has results on our critical thinking skills. This gives a lot of leeway to fake news spread, far-right conspiracy theories, or even the normalization of certain discourse. Social media has become the perfect feeding ground for far-right ideology and propaganda. As the title of this work implies, social media can be weaponized. Not just adults are exposed to radical or misleading content, but teenagers too. In the words of Jeroen Baert, the group we may consider as our digital natives are digitally naive. This thesis puts our current social media, internet culture, and political climate in perspective and what its effects are on the young generation. Extreme right figures and their ideologies have gained prominence in Western society. Recent polling results in West Europe are a clear test to this. This research will explore what radicalism and extremism mean within the context of far-right radicalization, or shortly said, the far-right pipeline. These new populist movements are different from the traditional radical right. They like to provoke, and their spread happens entirely online. The far right has mastered the internet as a tool. This research outlines the potential impact the new far right visibility has on a young demographic like Generation Z. Even seemingly funny pictures can get a message across in a way a long-winded write-up cannot. This research aims to build an understanding of how teenagers can be exposed to thinly veiled online radicalization. The author will be working with an exploratory research, a practical research, and a design product. To ensure all of these aspects remain connected, the author will be using one main question and a total of 6 sub-questions that help answer the main question. The main question is, how can far-right media influence children between age 12 to 18? The sub-questions are, how has social media evolved in the daily lives of children between age 12 to 18? How do we define the address new far right? What presence does the new far right have on social media? How can children between age 12 to 18 experience political radicalization on the internet? What role does social media play in the daily lives and environments of children between age 12 to 18? And how do we sort children that are radicalized between ages 12 to 18 within the radicalization process? Let's take a look at the exploratory research. The exploratory research was achieved through an incredibly varied bibliography, as well as the author's own observations within online spaces. There was also several interviews conducted in order to gain a full picture of the problem at hand. As you can see in the picture of the PowerPoint, the exploratory research or the literature study is split into 4 chapters. At first we have modern internet. This will run through statistics of teenagers' current social media or internet use and its impact on their perception and development. The chapter Political Climate is kind of a crash course on our current political climate. In this, the author will explain what we can define as the new far right and what sets it apart from the traditional far right. This chapter will also delve into the most common conspiracy theories peddled by the far right and the type of fake news they manage to spread. Rabbit Hole will combine the previous two chapters. It will discuss the current dominant internet culture and what makes it such a fruitful place for the far right to develop. How do young people convey certain messages and opinions today? Why are memes, funny pictures we all share to make each other laugh, a potential tool to ideologies? How do platforms deal with misinformation or violent content? Have they been successful? Finally, New Far Right Pipeline serves as the accumulation of the conducted research and is therefore the most important part within the literature study. Knowing what we know now, how exactly can a teenager radicalize within the specific New Far Right pipeline? How does this unfold online? What are the phases within this radicalization process? Before moving on to the design product, the author will present a survey conducted among secondary school students on their internet and social media use. The author will compare their findings with the statistics noted in the exploratory research and then draw conclusions. Finally, the design product of this thesis will showcase a potential model for the radicalization process, sorted into 4 phases. The crafted model modernizes already existing concepts. In the future, this model could be built upon further or adapted according to the setting. The crafted model serves as a suggestion rather than a finished product, ready for use in professional settings. The author conducted interviews with individuals who found themselves either almost or within the far right pipeline. These confessionals were made into case studies, which offers the ability to test the model. Through these confessionals, you will see that there is no such thing as a fixed radicalization process. The experiences couldn't be more different from one another, yet they have similar subtleties. The author invites you to have a look at the research as well as the confessionals that were collected and hopes you will find it both interesting and illuminating. Thank you for your attention.